And we're off. Into game number one, Arjun Erigaisi taking on Fabiano Caruana. The tension has been building the entire day to this Harjit, and away we go. We're blitzing out moves here. It's 10-10.
The games have started. They've already played like 7-8 moves. They've been blitzing out the moves, as you said. Look at the heart rate. Arjun Erigaisi having a heart rate of 100. Fabiano 110.
You know what's crazy about that? Arjun is typically the person on the freestyle circuit that we peg as the lowest, most stable heart rate player. He's already eclipsing some of his highs in certain matchups. That to me tells me already that these players are feeling the environment. They are feeling the pressure of this audience.
Yeah, they're stressed, and you hear the audience in the background. People are cheering on, and we have Castle's queenside here for Fabiano Caruana. What does that hint at, everybody? It means as he tucked his king away, the black king needs to find a safe space. But Harshit, we see that black position.
They have a bishop pair. I mean, India has a bishop pair right now. When the position is open and black has a bishop pair, it definitely favors black. Black is slightly better here. Arjun playing with the black pieces, having a good position in the start.
Help me understand why the position is slightly better, though, because now we've castled to the same tides. Typically, that, to me, says now we're back in a more stable type of game. We're not going to be throwing as aggressive attacks on opposite sides of the board.
Yeah, we may not be seeing aggressive checkmating attacks. You see the White's last move just clamping down on this square, so no pawn breaks available yet for Arjun Erigaisi. But why is Black better? It's because Black has the bishop pair with the ability to open the board.
Evaluation bar, which was really favoring Black, is now favoring White. And this is the space of the game. It's just 4 minutes into the game, and the evaluation bar is swinging like a roller coaster.
And that's why we can sometimes ignore the bar. The players don't have that evaluation bar. They're just trying to figure out the best moves. And you see them jockeying for position, and we hear just raucous crowd behind us. They are just not calming down, and that's great to hear.
No, rightfully so. It's kind of interesting to see how little time has come off the clocks. Again, I wonder how much of that was nerves, that they just felt like they needed to move quicker than maybe they should have in a 10-10. We're not to the 5-5 or the 1-1 just yet. Did either of them move a bit too quick for themselves?
I think they're all trying to adjust to the situation as well. There's so much nerves happening, so many people watching. But right now, Arjun should try to break c5 at some point. I need this break. I need some air in the position.
Well, you push pawn, you leave a square behind. Dash, you asked that question before, like, can you really push pawns in front of your own king? That white knight will slink back, up there and then forward. So that pawn on c6 where it currently sits, that's actually quite important. And that's why we see Arjun, he takes a step back because he wants a new point of entry. Eventually, he probably will bring his knight into the center.
But now that the knight moved from d1, is it time to play c5 now? Will he go for it?
Yeah, it's always important to pay attention to the nuances. And that knight that was on the first rank, it could hop forward into the queenside. Now may be the time. But Arjun, he has shown restraint. Maybe it's actually fear, and he brings his rook up first. So I'm not sure if he's going to feel comfortable pushing more pawns from his king.
If anything, though, I will say he's gotten every single piece off the back rank. So he is trying to gobble up some space slowly but surely. But for the most part, we kind of have a line of scrimmage right there between the 4th and the 5th ranks. Who's going to be the first person? Is it still Arjun looking for that c5 push? Or when is the onus on Fabiano to look for a break of his own?
I don't think Fabiano has a break. So I think that it's basically whether Arjun will break at some point and open the position. And I think Fabi is kind of preparing himself for Black playing this move pawn to c5. But look at the clocks. 8 minutes for Fabiano, 6 minutes, 58 seconds for Arjun. A nice time lead.
But huge mistake there from Arjun Erigaisi because previously White had no pawn breaks, but after the black f5 pawn became an e4 pawn, the rook on e6, that's staring into its own pawn. And now we hear the crowd, they're going crazy, and maybe they're rooting on Fabiano Caruana.
I know it's going to be hard for you to hear us over them at this point, but I think they're getting excited, and rightfully so. We're starting to see maybe what feels like the shoe is on the other foot. You talked about for so much of the game, it was about Arjun looking to make the move. He's got permission to be on the offensive, and now Fabiano might have found his opening to strike.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much tension happening in g4. Another pawn break by Fabiano, but the evaluation bar has dropped down to equality. Arjun is fighting his way back into the game. This is good news. This is a step in the right direction. a4. Great move, attacking the white queen.
Yeah, that queen steps back in front of the white king. It's actually quite passive for the time being, but what Fabiano is trying to do is leap that knight forward. He already has a passed pawn. Watch out for that one. And if these rooks, they switch flanks all the way over to the king side, they may be able to infiltrate down a newly open file. So both sides need to be careful. That c5 pawn break, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Fabiano has the easier position to play.
He gets his wish. That knight will find itself located onto the g4 square. But let's talk about which trade each player wants, because I think this is the part of the game where players at my level can really struggle with how to advance forward, identifying what are my strengths and weaknesses in the position as compared to my opponent, and then therefore which of my pieces am I willing to give up and which do I need to hold on to, for dear life.
Such a good question, because right now you see that black has a pawn chain in both directions, and a pawn chain is only as strong as its base pawn. Here that c6, white's forces are lining up to it, and if you ever make a push like b4 thinking you're getting on the attack, that could backfire, because then that lonely pawn on a4, I'm highlighting it for everybody at home, that could become a target, and I won't even call it long term, it could actually fall quite quickly.
And Arjun Erigaisi has down to 5 minutes 20 seconds. He's taking his time. He knows that this is a critical moment in the position. He needs to find a good plan. And I'm not too worried if he gets down to less than 2 minutes, because he's played so many bullet games online that I think that he's going to be very comfortable in making those quick moves.
Gandhivam, he better bring that bow and arrow.
While it might be a slightly unusual position for him to be in, again, from my maybe more limited understanding of Arjun's history, any game when you get to that kind of middle and end games, here he's still working with a clock disadvantage, but as you say, I think 5 minutes is still plenty for him to play a game and maybe another one after that.
But Fabiano, I mean, as you said in the opening ceremony, he's so hot right now in rook at 7.
Oh?
Which means that now white has a very important move.
What happened? What are we looking for?
The board is red.
The board is red. Only move, and Fabiano Caruana finds it. Queen back to b1. It's hard to actually fully understand why it's the best move, but he's regrouping his pieces. That queen was lonely,
no.
And here it comes.
Another
now
only
it's
move.
called the triple on the
Another
c-file.
only move.
There's danger here.
There's the
And he does
legendary
it.
triple stack. Hikaru, team captain's very happy to see that right now.
Look at Hikaru. He's peeking this game from behind, and he's very happy. He's very happy with his teammate. Queen to c2. Fabiano playing fantastic chess.
I didn't even realize what's happening, but if this pawn, which looks like it's free, is captured, watch out for ideas like rook takes, sacrificing the rook! Because all of a sudden, the white queen comes in, the black king is hunted.
And pressure on Arjun right now. He cannot take the pawn on e3 because of rook takes d5.
You could see it in his face right now. A bit of stoicism as he's kind of just staring at a blank wall. There's no good options, it feels like, at this point.
Yeah, no good options. If I bring my rook back to h8, trying to control the c8 square, maybe you can just advance. He goes back. He goes back with his rook. He retreats.
And right now you see that the engine's unclear what is exactly the best move. But I think white, Fabiano Caruana, he's doing well on the clock. He's doing excellent on the board. Play it slow. Slow, improving moves look good here. You don't need to rush it, but maybe actually switch on over. And oh my gosh, James, the crowd's going wild.
You can feel the crowd
going
getting behind him. The chants have begun. They're trying to will him over the finish line, because while we have the benefit of that eval bar that you talked about, Robert, the players themselves don't. The audience as well, actually, in our venue does not have the privilege of an eval bar. So while I think everybody has the sense, and I'm sure Fabi has the sense himself, that he is winning, again, you got to find checkmate. You got to actually make it happen. You can't liquidate to the point that we end up in a draw.
And look at the focus that they both have. I mean, even with so much noise in the background, the players are able to maintain that laser-sharp focus. Arjun Erigaisi, I haven't seen him looking anywhere else but the chessboard. He's trying to find any single chance which will allow him back in the game right now. Fabiano knows that he's winning. He's taking his time now. The lead that he had gotten from the start, he's trying to make use of it.
I mean, what a move from Fabiano Caruana. The restraint and the whole point, everybody, is white has passed pawns. Don't just think for checkmate. That's not the only way to win the game,
True.
At least in normal terms. Here it is. But what he's trying to do is push his pawns forward. That queen came up to protect what was previously a loose pawn, and now the pawns are rumbling. And for Arjun Erigaisi, he can't keep everything defended.
Look at Fabi. He looked away from the board and gave a sigh of, he breathed a sigh of relief there. I think he knows that he has this game in his control.
Yeah, I mean, this guy right now is playing some of the best chess in his career, coming hot off of a win for the Champions Chess Tour. Steps off a plane, he walks in here, and he says, I'm ready to go again. I mean, that to me, I had questions about his energy, about his stamina. You're flying around the world, you're playing different styles and different types of chess, and for him to be able to step off of a plane after flying overnight and put on a performance like this, granted it's not over yet, is impressive to say the least.
And let's think about how he lost in that World Championship he played in rapid tie breaks. He has silenced the critics over the years, but what would it be to win the Grand Chess Tour and then come here to Dallas, Texas, and beat Arjun Erigaisi to start the Team USA off with an absolute bang? I mean, this guy is playing unbelievable chess.
Robert and James, I mean, I've been rooting for Team India But Fabiano, I mean, this tells so much about his character. It tells so much about his love for the game. I mean, this guy is traveling 10, 12 hours, internationally, coming here, right with the same intensity. He's right here, and he's doing it in style.
Look, I consider myself to be a degenerate gamer by all standards in terms of the amount of time I've put into video games and the like. I think Fabi might be a bigger gamer than me. He goes from playing chess to playing Avalon to back to playing chess. I don't know when this man sleeps.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about gaming in terms of
and look at him,
the
he's
quality
laughing.
of his play.
He looked at the crowd and he was smiling.
Arjun Erigaisi, he gets a move off, but look at this. His rooks, they are connected, but the pawns, they are marching forward. And you hear the crowd dash. The crowd is chanting for Fabiano Caruana as he continues to press forward.
And the pawn is on the 6th rank now. 2 more squares and he can make a new queen with it.
Yeah, a little bit of a counterattack here from Arjun. He's just trying to make anything happen, right? Give
Fabiano is a safer king, so instead of trading queens, which was still objectively winning, he keeps the queens on the board. And this is a good attempt from Arjun Erigaisi. If Fabiano was down on the clock, maybe there'd be some danger with a newly opened file in front of his king. But right now, Fabiano's just up 2 pawns.
It's down to less than 2 minutes. The clock is orange now, which means that this is, he needs to increase his pace of playing, but he has no good moves. It might be too late now.
Yeah, down to 1:30 here is Arjun. You can see there just in his, player camera. I've got to imagine as that clock changes, again, that's just another ounce of obstacle that you have to overcome. You're catching that out the corner of your eye. I know that now I really have my back against the wall.
Yeah, the sweat's not even dripping anymore. It's pouring, and you hear the USA chant behind us. Is right now, Arjun tries to go for an attack against the king, but a new queen is coming.
A new queen on the board. Look at that. Look at the crowd erupting in joy as Fabiano is about to win his first game.
Game 1, we get a promotion on the board. We will see a couple of pieces liquidate, but now you're looking at a queen against a queen and 2 rooks on the other side.
He cannot resign. He cannot resign.
That's true. He has
you have to play till checkmate.
Gukesh had said in that video that we saw earlier in the day, he's kind of excited somewhat to watch some players suffer defeat down the line, and unfortunately the first defeat will be suffered on behalf of one of his teammates.